My name is Jake, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna talk about payout ratio and we're gonna go over some of the dividend aristocrats with the lowest payout ratio. If you've been following my channel, you know that I've uploaded a video almost every single Sunday for about the last 2 years. Last week was a crazy week. My wife and I, we were selling one of our rental properties and I tried to make a video, but there wasn't enough time in the week to really put in the time necessary to make it really up to the standards that I would like it to be. And so I didn't upload a video last week. Last Sunday, this was me. So for all of you that have been following the channel, looking forward to that video last Sunday, I apologize. I think I should be having some more time going forward. We're still in the process of selling the house. It's currently under contract. I'm so excited about it because all of the proceeds, all of the gains that we got out of that rental property, which we're selling, which we should close here in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to take all of that money and I'm going to transition it into my dividend growth portfolio. The whole purpose of why we were investing into real estate was to grow our net worth and then transition the money from real estate into this dividend growth portfolio. My wife and I are looking to reach financial independence and retire early. We don't want to be landlords in early retirement. For me, that's just another job, especially as a do-it-yourself, landlord. I don't use a property manager, so I do everything myself. My wife and I, we don't want to be landlords in early retirement. We want to have the flexibility to travel to Europe and visit her family over in Germany, or maybe go and visit other countries whenever we want and not really have to worry about the real estate portfolio and not really hand it over to a property manager. So we got the house under contract. It was a lot of work. It was a great experience, but at the end of it, I was exhausted. I think I looked like this after 2 open houses, all the negotiating. It was a really interesting experience seeing it from the side of the seller because I bought a few homes, but I've actually never sold a home before. So really interesting experience, and I'll share more on that in a future video. So we've talked about payout ratio in the past on the channel, but in this video, I want to go into detail about what payout ratio is and look at a few different companies from the lens of a low and high payout ratio, and just kind of walk through and talk you all through some of the things that I think of when I'm looking at companies based off of their payout ratio. And we're going to use the FastGraphs tool to analyze these different companies. So the Fundamental Analyzer software tool in FastGraphs, and we're going to look at different charts and see how different companies have performed over time. The payout ratio is not really a difficult concept to understand, but regardless, I'm going to try to keep it very simple and straightforward so that everyone can understand it and follow along. I think there's that old saying, explain something so that a child could understand it. I'm going to do my very best to explain it so that everyone can understand. And it may look a little like this.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Oh my gosh, I love his smile at the end. All right, cool. So let's take a look at payout ratio. Payout ratio, the way that you calculate it is you take the annual dividend per share of a company and you divide that by the current calendar year's earning per share. So let's say, for example, if a company generates 100 million, if they had a 50% payout ratio, that means that they would be paying out 50 million to shareholders in the form of a dividend. So what that means is if a company is growing their revenue and they're year over year increasing their bottom line, that means that they're able to increase returns for shareholders. Now, we all know that some companies are growing faster than others. You take a look at a utility. A utility like maybe Southern Company or Duke is not growing near as fast as maybe, for example, a technology company like Apple or Microsoft or Nvidia, right? And so the earnings growth is really going to dictate how a company is going to divvy that out to shareholders in the form of a dividend. Now, I'll give you an example using my own portfolio here. We know that every industry, the norm of the industry, that they're growing at different paces. A technology company is growing faster than a utility company as the norm. Right, you take the index, utility companies are growing slower than technology companies. Consumer discretionary companies as the norm are growing faster than consumer staples. Okay, so if we understand that, we can understand, okay, the index or the norm for that industry. So in most cases, utilities, telecom companies, consumer staples are going to have a higher payout ratio. So what that could mean is a technology company like NVIDIA or maybe Microsoft, they're going to have a much lower payout ratio, whereas a utility or a consumer staple may have a payout ratio of maybe 50, 60, or even 70 or 80%. Now, if a technology company has a payout ratio of 50, 60, 70%, that for me is a huge red flag because the company is not innovating or looking for new ways to generate growth from their business, or maybe through acquisition or R&D. That is a huge red flag for me. And something that you'll notice in this video as we look at some of these companies, just because a company has a low payout ratio, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're growing their dividend exponentially faster than a company with a slightly higher payout ratio. So we'll get into that in just a second. It will make a lot more sense as we look into the individual companies. And if you're following along with this video and if you're curious for a specific stock that you own or one that you're interested in, you can check the payout ratio very simply by going over to a website like Seeking Alpha, go under the dividends section and go under dividend safety. And if you scroll down, you can go down and you can see the payout ratio over time. So over the last 5 years, you can see that Waste Management's payout ratio has hovered anywhere from the mid 40s to about the mid 50s. So now that we understand payout ratio, let's take a look at a few dividend aristocrats with low payout ratio utilizing the FastGraph tool. FastGraph is the fundamental analyzer software tool, and we're going to analyze a few different companies. The graph here that you're seeing, the black line is the price. We're looking at this over the last 20 years. The blue line is reflective of what the market has generally priced Stanley Black & Decker. The orange line is a PE of 15. The white line represents the dividend yield, the payout ratio, and this is what we're going to look at when we're looking at the payout ratio and how it's changed over time. So something that I want to highlight is if you look at the dividend yield here, you can see that the dividend yield goes up and down over time, and the payout ratio, this bottom number here, so you see dividend payout, that's the payout ratio, that this is going up and down every single year. And this adjusts based off of the current price that the company is trading at. And today, Stanley Black & Decker has currently a dividend payout ratio under 30%. So this is a perfect example of a company that is growing their earnings, they're growing their dividend, and they're rewarding shareholders with a growing dividend. So if we dive into the performance of Stanley Black & Decker over the last 20 years, you can see that the dividend growth has hovered anywhere from 3 to 5%. And here in 2011, you saw a massive spike of 22%. But this is something that I really want to highlight. You'll notice here that the dividend payout ratio has hovered anywhere from 30 to 40%. And this is the main thing that I hope that everyone can understand. Just because a company has a low payout ratio, it doesn't always necessarily mean that this company is growing its dividend faster than a company with maybe a 70 or an 80% dividend growth rate. So let me let that set in and make sure that everybody understands that. Just because a company has a low payout ratio, it does not mean necessarily that they're growing their dividend faster than a company with a higher payout ratio. So you hear that a lot on YouTube, that a lot of people say, yeah, it has a low payout ratio. That means that they're growing their dividend much faster than other companies. That's not necessarily always the case. It really depends on the growth, the revenue growth of the company, and if they're able to grow their bottom line. And that's really important, and that will make sense as we look at some of these other companies as well. Now let's take a look at another company here really quick and see an example that is maybe a little bit scarier from a dividend investor's perspective when it comes to maybe a yield trap. If you look at the company Lumen Technologies, this company acquired other companies like, Level 3 Technologies. I think they also own Cox Communications, for example. So it's a telecom company. And so you can see the white line here is not that steady up and to the right. For example, like we had here with Stanley Black & Decker, you can see that it's steady up and to the right. Lumen Technology is kind of all over the place. In this white line here, you can see that the payout ratio got up to over 180%. So 180% means that this company is paying shareholders more out than what they're bringing in. And so obviously there was an imminent dividend cut on the horizon, and yet lo and behold, the company cut their dividend and brought it down to a more sustainable payout ratio of around 60%. So the important thing to understand here is the payout ratio. If a company is paying too much out to shareholders and their payout ratio gets out of control, as a dividend investor, you want to be aware of this and understand, does this mean that the company that I'm invested in, are they going to cut their dividend? And you want to make sure as a dividend investor, especially if you're relying on the dividend for your living expenses, that the companies that you're invested in are growing their revenue and they're rewarding you as a shareholder with a growing dividend. Now, I want to take just a brief moment and look at this the same way that we did with Stanley Black & Decker so that you can understand and kind of see some red flags here in this company. So, for example, if you look at the dividend growth right here, you can see that there's some years where they're growing it. They grew it massively here, but then you start to see, okay, they didn't grow it, they actually cut their dividend. This is obviously reflective in the payout ratio. You can see here in the beginning, in the early 2000s that they had a healthy payout ratio, under 10. And then in 2008, the company I guess the financial crisis just kind of threw them a huge curveball and just disrupted their business. And you can see here year after year, their payout ratio increased until the imminent dividend cut. And here you can see that they still had a high payout ratio. They had a really high payout ratio in 2018. Their dividend was cut in 2019 and now is at a 60%. So the reason why I'm sharing this is if you're invested into a business where you see the payout ratio nearing 100%, and if it increases over 100%, this is a huge red flag, and you can really just anticipate an imminent dividend cut. Now let's take a look at a few dividend aristocrats with really low payout ratios. The first one that we're going to look at is Lowe's. You can see that Lowe's is really that company that every dividend investor could feel comfortable investing in because they have everything that it checks off almost every box. As a disclaimer, I don't personally own Lowe's, but this is definitely a company that I could see myself owning in the future. If you look at the dividends, you can see that they've maintained a very healthy dividend payout ratio of in the 30s. Right now, it's trading at under 30%. The big thing with Lowe's is the earnings growth rate. This is the green section right here. They've had an earnings growth rate of over 15% over the last 20 years. But here, get this. Over the last 5 years, they've had an earnings growth rate of over 23%. This is absolutely insane. This is almost the same level as Microsoft. Lowe's is growing almost as fast as Microsoft these last 5 years. So a few things that stick out to me with Lowe's is you can see that Lowe's has a lower starting dividend yield of just 1.35%. So this is a low dividend yield. If you're looking to retire tomorrow, this is probably going to be too low of a dividend yield for you. And this is generally the case when you have a company with a low payout ratio, they typically have a lower starting yield because the company is focused more on growing their revenue and growing their operations, which is the case here with Lowe's. So when we look at the dividend growth and we look at the payout ratio over the last, let's say 20 years here, you can see in this section here that Lowe's has increased its dividend in some years with just by a massive amount, right? You had a 63% increase. Then in 2010, you had a lower increase. It's just really insane growth at this company. But the interesting thing is you look at the payout ratio. The payout ratio has never hit over 40%. What sticks out to me with Lowe's is they're growing their revenue. They're growing their business so fast that they're able to maintain that low payout ratio, but still reward shareholders with a growing dividend. You may have heard of the concept, the dividend snowball effect. With Lowe's, this is not a company where you're going to get really massive returns in the dividend income in the short term, but over the long term, that snowball effect is really going to compound, and that's where you're going to see the growth of your dividend is in long-term investing into a company like Lowe's. And the first example that we shared was Stanley Black & Decker. You saw that the dividend growth was lower, but they also still had a payout ratio of around 30%. not all companies are created equal. Not all companies are able to grow their revenue and their have such high margins and really earnings growth rates like a company like Lowe's. Let's take a look at another company here. Target is actually a dividend king. They've increased their dividend over 50 years. If you look at the white line here, you can see that there's been consistent dividend growth. And what really sticks out to me is here in the last couple of years, you've seen their earnings growth rate just explode. So over the last 20 years, annualized, we've seen just over a 10% earnings growth rate. If you look over the last 5 years, you can see that there's over a 22% earnings growth rate. So Target is growing their earnings, they're growing their revenue, and they're rewarding shareholders with a growing dividend. The difference here with Target and Lowe's is you've seen a bit of a different story when it comes to their payout ratio. Target has a little bit more of an up and down fluctuation when it comes to their payout ratio. On that front, Lowe's has done a much better job over time. When we look at the performance metrics here, when we look at the dividend growth in this section, you can see that there's healthy dividend growth rates over time. You can also see that the payout ratio has stayed fairly low. There's been a few years here when it was pretty high. Target was running into issues. Amazon was really, coming and eating their lunch for a while there. There was even rumors that Target was going to get acquired by Amazon. So this company has had a little bit more ups and downs than the previous company in Lowe's over the last couple of years. But you can see here that they have a low payout ratio, and that low payout ratio has enabled them or allowed them to grow their dividend. The last two companies that we looked at, I think were trading at fairly fair valuations given their earnings growth rate, that being Lowe's and Target. Let's take a look at another company with a low payout ratio, but is trading at a much higher PE than the other companies we were looking at before. So the company that we're going to look at here is SPGI, the S&P Global. And so you can see here, the white line, you've seen consistent, steady dividend growth. You can see that the payout ratio has hovered right around, let's see if I can get my mouse on here, in the 30s, high 20s, mid 20s, low 20s, low 20s here. So you can see that SPGI has a good track record of keeping and maintaining their dividend payout low. But the thing is here, if you look at this chart, their price, the PE is just out of control in my opinion. But something that will obviously stand out with this chart with SPGI is the black line is really out in outer space. It's trading at a significant premium compared to Lowe's and Target with just around a 34 blended PE. This is a very pricey company at the moment. So if we look at the performance, we can see here that looking at the dividend growth, you can see that there's some years where they've had high dividend growth. You can see some years where there was low growth. It's not really a consistent, 7, 8, 9%. It's, really sporadic. When you look at the dividend payout ratio, they've done a really good job at maintaining a low payout ratio. And so when you compare this with other companies or similar companies with a similar payout ratio, you look at, for example, Lowe's or Target, who were just increasing their dividend at a significantly faster rate. And if we compare the dividend growth with the other companies, so SPGI down here in the bottom left, you can see that the average dividend growth has been just around 9.5%. If we look at Target, Target has been over a 14%. And if we look at Lowe's, Lowe's has just been under a 25% dividend growth rate. So really different. And the even more impactful thing here is you look at SPGI, SPGI has a much lower starting yield of just, 0.68%, where the others have double that. So when you're comparing these companies, SPGI has, yes, a comparable payout ratio, but that's really just one piece of it. If you're a dividend investor, you have to look at beyond just the payout ratio. You have to look at the starting yield. You have to look at the dividend growth. You have to look at the revenue, the earnings growth over time. and all of these metrics. And that's one of the challenging things, that you don't want to just look at one metric as a dividend investor. And this is a perfect example. This is a great business. This is a great company. But if you were to invest into this company today, in my opinion, you're paying a very, very high premium for this stock, and you're only getting a subpar starting dividend yield and dividend growth with this company at the current prices. So really, really important that you understand that. Let's take a look at another example of a very, very wonderful business, but very pricey. Sherwin-Williams. I was at Sherwin-Williams on Saturday, just yesterday. I had to buy some paint, some touch-up paint for the rental property that we're going to sell. This company is an amazing business, but it's trading at a really, really high premium. It has a very low payout ratio. If you look at the payout ratio right now, it's just at a 26%. So a low payout ratio. But you look at the dividend yield. The dividend yield, you're just getting over a 0.5% dividend yield. And the thing that really scares me about this price right now is you're paying a blended PE of 39. 39 for Sherwin-Williams. It is absolutely just mind-boggling to believe that you're paying just as much for Sherwin-Williams in terms of price to earnings as you would with Microsoft. So really, really interesting. So over the last 20 years, you can see that they have an earnings growth rate of about 13%. If you look at the last 5 years, they haven't increased their earnings growth rate. So this is maybe speculative with the infrastructure bill and everything that is going into spending at the moment. I don't know. Maybe this likely has a big deal, plays a big role in this. But if you look at this, for me, it's just a bit pricey. It's a very expensive stock with a blended PE of 39. And this is the key thing that I really want to point out again, right? The dividend growth of Sherwin-Williams, if you look here, the dividend growth, some years you're getting 3% dividend growth, other years you're getting 20, you get 1% dividend growth, 1%. And look at this. They have a 33% payout ratio, but they're growing their dividend at less than 1.5%. You are not beating inflation despite having a really low payout ratio. So if you're a dividend investor, this is what I would encourage you to do. Don't just look at the payout ratio and say, oh, this company has a 30% payout ratio. That means by default that they're growing their dividend faster than a company with a 60% payout ratio. No, that's not how it works. It doesn't paint, no pun intended, it doesn't paint an accurate picture of what you're getting as a dividend investor. So really, really important that you look under the hood and you understand, okay, this company may have a low payout ratio, but what am I actually getting as an investor, at the current prices? And just to make a point, I said earlier that Sherwin-Williams is trading at the same valuation as Microsoft. Look at this. Microsoft is trading at a 40 PE. Sherwin-Williams is trading at a 39 PE. So I don't know about you, but I believe that Microsoft is going to grow at a faster rate long term than Sherwin-Williams. And it's just absolutely mind-blowing to me to see that a paint company is trading at a 40 PE right now. It's just incredible. But yeah, I just wanted to use this example of Microsoft with the blended PE comparing to Sherwin-Williams, that it is so imperative that you look at more than just the payout ratio when you're making a decision to either buy, hold, or sell a stock. Understanding payout ratio is so important, but it is not the one and only metric that you should be looking at when you're considering to buy, hold, or sell a stock. The dividend payout ratio, it's not a blanket, one size fits all approach. Just because a company has a low payout ratio does not mean that by default that they're growing faster than a company with a higher payout ratio and vice versa. It's important to look at the whole picture. Look at the dividend growth rate, look at the earnings growth rate, look at the payout ratio, and look at the industry. It's really, there's a handful of things that if you're a dividend investor that you should be considering, and not just cherry picking individual metrics and not create a bull or bear thesis based off of one metric. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope that you learned something new on payout ratio. I hope that this video was helpful, and I hope you all have a great week.
You know what? I think we're gonna be friends. Can everyone say hi to my friend? That's crazy. I just wanted to say thanks. I'm glad you came along, partner.